Hi, this is Anthony Slaybaugh, president of Anthony Slaybaugh Remodeling and Design. Thank you for just taking a few minutes to go through this presentation with me. I've sat in a ton of time management classes over the years in various conferences that we've gone to, and read a lot about time management, books, magazines. But I took this class several years ago, and I felt like it really resonated with me. Um, And so I put it into a presentation for our team, but hopefully you'll glean something out of it. It has helped me quite a bit, and I've seen it help our team members as well. So if I can get this to go. First thing is the quiz that we gave you. There's not, you're not gonna be graded on this. No one's gonna look at this. It's really just a way for you to look at your big time wasters. So, maybe take note of that. What are the top 5 things that are wasting time for you? It's going to be a little bit different for each person. So the first question here is, what is time? And you might want to just take a couple minutes and kind of fill this out on your own. You could pause the video and just write down, what do you believe, or just mentally, what do you believe time is? What is it? And there's all sorts of different answers for this. So it's a fill in the blank, but until one believes time is precious, complicated, and irreplaceable, you cannot appreciate time's worth. And we all know, and especially the older we get, time is fleeting. It goes by so quick. We all say it. How did this happen? My kids were knee high and now they're in college. It seems like just yesterday. So time it's very precious. It's complicated too, and it's also irreplaceable. Once it's gone, it's gone. So it does have a high worth in our lives. You cannot begin to manage time until you appreciate its worth. The average person wastes between 2 and 3 hours per day. And I'm speaking to myself here. I tend to, at the end of the day, I work a little faster, a little harder, because I've wasted time and I know I got to get to a deadline, or even at the end of the week, I got to get this done before the end of the week. So, but that's interesting that, the average person wastes that much time. The 3D approach is first discipline, which is controlled behavior. Distinguish, so the ability to discern when your various tasks are coming your way, or responsibilities or issues that come up. And then diplomacy, which would be tact or skill in dealing with people. So that's what we'll be going over right now, taking this 3D approach. So with discipline, most people will abandon newly learned management skills after 30 days. It is true. It's takes a while to discipline yourself, and you can carry this through into eating habits, exercise, going to bed on time, getting enough sleep, all sorts of areas of your life. Remaining disciplined in time management requires the setting of goals. So for specifically what you want to achieve with your time. We talk a lot about SMART goals in our remodeler circle. This is a group of peers that I'm in, and SMART goals would be, if you're going to do something, hey, I got to get this done. It's a to-do on my list. It should be SMART. It should be specific on what you want to do. It should be measurable, so you can actually measure what needs done, organized. So specific, measurable. It should be achievable, so it actually should be something that you can achieve, and it should be realistic, that you can get it done, and time bound. And so very much in line with time management, you need to set a goal. You need to set enough time realistically that you can get it done. When one realizes the value of time management, so meeting your goals, they're willing to pay the price of discipline. And I've spent many years telling our team, you got to spend the time up front to plan. Lee, our estimator, every project, part of his setup is he blocks out time for the whole project, the whole process that he is involved in, on his Outlook calendar, days, weeks, and months in advance. So when you look at his calendar, it's blocked out. Like he has very limited time to actually do other things outside of what he does day to day. And but he's spending time up front. It takes time to plan, to plan time. So, but it's worth it. Setting goals, write them down, prioritize each goal, and plan your day. I sometimes plan 2-3 days out in advance. And on when I don't, I realize very quickly that I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and things don't never seem to get done on time. And my to-do list keeps growing because I'm not sitting and taking the time needed to set those goals. Interruptions. So in order to manage time, one must be good at maintaining time. The average person gets interrupted 73 times per day. I remember, and I know Nick, our designer, can relate to this. When I used to do our design work, I would need to block out 2 to 3 hours to work on a design. If someone interrupted me in that design block of time, it would take me 20 minutes. They say when you're interrupted, you're interrupted for 10 or 20 minutes. It takes you 10 or 20 minutes just to get your head back in the game. That is so true, especially when you're doing something that requires a lot of thinking, like design or estimating, project management, scheduling, working on a system, working on a process. Your head is in it. You get into kind of your own little creative world. And when you're interrupted, it just crashes it. And when that happens many times per day, yeah, it can really affect your time management. Distinguish, so that's the next D. Deciding how, when, and which competing tasks to take care of has tremendous consequences on the rest of your day. Do not allow yourself to become a human ping pong ball. You need to protect your time. I've over the years had to become very good at holding a very healthy no card in my pocket, and that'll come up in a second, but just set your limits and protect them. I would even highly recommend checking email at specific times or a couple times a day. It doesn't have to be the same time every day unless you want it to be, but don't just constantly be checking text and email, or you're going to be constantly interrupted and you will be the human ping pong ball. You have to weigh the cost. If I do this right now, what will it cost me? If I do this right now, what will it benefit me? And I see this a lot of times. I'll use Nick again for an example. If I want to ask him something, he will drop everything he's doing to work on that. I'll just do it right now. And I get it. Part of the thinking is let's just get it out of the way and get it done. But it's also an interruption to what he was already doing. And I have to remind him, no, you don't have to do it now. Just put it on your list. And it's just a quick note. Okay. And then he can move on to doing what he was doing. Better yet, maybe he tell me, can you email it to me? And he has been doing that often lately, where he'll say, just put that in a Slack message or an email to me. There's nothing wrong with just asking someone to redirect how they're going to get that information to you. And then the third D, diplomacy. So to be a good manager of time, one must possess the ability to say no. So when telling someone no, make sure you underline their importance, assure them that they deserve your attention. Yeah, you definitely want to deliver it graciously, use tact, but setting that expectation, especially in your own team, that it's okay to say no, I think that's a good thing. Lee, oftentimes I will go to him and have something, he's like, listen, I'm in the middle of something. Can we talk in 10 minutes or can you email me? Or I'll say, hey, I need to meet with you. He might not have time for 2 weeks. And it's hard to hear because, I'm the owner and I want to talk to him about something, but I have to respect that. Like he manages his time very well, and he must in order to meet deadlines. So saying no is a good thing. So here's just some examples, just to be polite, to redirect. This last one down here, a lot of times I'll come with a list of things I want to go over, and someone might say, hey, you got a lot of things here. Can you help me prioritize these tasks? so that I can focus on the most pressing issues. So there's some example phrases. Why things don't get done, the Savage Five. This is not me, Anthony. This was the instructor for this course that I took. He came up with these, but basically procrastination. A lot of times people just, and I do this, oh, it's a big thing I got to do. I'll get it. And you just procrastinate because you don't want to get into it. But it's always so refreshing once you get into it and tackle it, just to get it out of the way and done. Another thing is disorganization. I will tell you, my office used to have stacks of paper and sticky notes and a bulletin board with a million things on it. I got to the point, I think Dave Ramsey talked about this, literally clean out your office, throw it all the way, have a desk with a pad of paper and a computer. Now, I'm not that much of a minimalist, but every day I clean out the office if I can. I reorganize, everything has a place. It's super minimalistic. I would highly recommend, if you are disorganized, get rid of the clutter. Just get rid of it. Scan it and shred it and get it out of your face. The more organized and simplistic you can be, the more productive you will be. Fear is a big one, just being afraid to tackle tasks or get, maybe because you know it's going to require a lot of brain power, or maybe it's something new or it's stressing you out, but you just have to push past it and get it done. Another one is perfectionism. Sometimes we overcomplicate things, and I would highly recommend adopting the KISS principle. KIS, keep it simple, or even KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Like, just simplify. You don't have to do everything perfect, especially like when writing a document or a letter or a process. I recommend draft it, then go back and clean it up, and then cut half of it out. Do bullets instead of writing an email with 15 paragraphs explaining everything. Just say, here, hey, I wanted to get a couple things across, or wanted to touch base on a few things. Bullet, bullet, bullet. People don't like to read these days. They watch videos, they look at photos. If you can bullet things out, it makes it simple. They'll just kind of glance at your first sentence and go right to the bullets. And actually, with the disorganization, I kind of jumped ahead. The clutter. Yeah, clutter is physical and it's mental. It does affect you. So get rid of the clutter. As far as application for this whole thing, just believe that your time is precious. Make a daily concerted effort to prioritize and plan your day. Discipline. It does work. I sometimes like to plan my Monday on Friday. And the plan isn't perfect, but at least you're putting a plan together, something on paper or on your phone or in Outlook. Know your limits. So delegate when you know you can't get something done. Tim, our project manager, sometimes will take on too much and it becomes extremely overwhelming. And just like being able to delegate some tasks gets that off your plate. It's so refreshing. I've been doing delegation for so many years, and I even forget when I first started the challenge of starting to delegate, because I've done it for so long, but there is a challenge there. It's hard to take things off your plate, especially, or get things off your plate, especially when you're used to just kind of making it all happen. But you can't make it all happen. You're one person. You need to rely on a team. So delegate it to people that can help you get things done, and that's going to free up your time so that you can focus on the more important things. And being able to say no. So if you've reached your max and people are coming to you, you just have to sometimes say, no, I can't do this right now. Otherwise, you're just going to be adding to your time. And as we talked about, time is precious and you only have so much of it. So communicating and discerning, it goes right along with that. Lots of communication and lots of discernment on what is priority and what is just eating up my time because I keep dropping things like checking email and things that maybe aren't necessarily all that important. The last thing I just want to say is that, I teach a budgeting class, a how to get out of debt class. I've been doing that for about 10 years now. And I've seen a lot of people change their financial status, which has affected their marriages positively. And I've seen people be completely get completely debt free, stay there, and actually start building wealth. And it all goes down to budgeting. It is all based on change of behavior and telling your money where to go instead of your money telling you where to go. And it's all about putting that plan together and just changing it. And what I realized when I took this class is that time management is just like budgeting. You put a plan together, but it sometimes changes. Like you might budget for $1,000 for groceries for your family or whatever it would be, but all of a sudden your car broke down. Something has to give. It might not be the groceries, or maybe you go to Aldi's instead of Giant Eagle this month because you need that $200 to fix your car, and you're adjusting your budget. Next month, there's a birthday party. You have to budget for that. Christmas is coming up. Guess what? It's in December again this year. You got to budget for gifts. So time management is the same exact way. It's always shifting. It's never the same. It's always changing. Your budget for your money will be different every month, every week, every day for the rest of your life, because things are always coming at you differently. Same thing with time. It's just putting a plan together and adjusting it as things move on. So hopefully this was a helpful little lesson for you. If you need any clarifications or help kind of getting started with this, I'd be happy to step in and come alongside you. So just reach out. Thank you.